The stars looked like diamonds scattered across black silk. Captain Ryan O'Connor stared at them through the bridge window of the exploration ship Discovery. He took a sip of coffee and checked the navigation screen again. They were getting close. To the edge of known space, Captain, called out Dr. Lisa Rodriguez from her science station. We're picking up unusual energy readings ahead. Lisa had been with the Deep Space Exploration Team for 5 years. She knew every strange signal in their database. This wasn't one of them. Her fingers danced across the controls, bringing up detailed scans on the main screen. Show me, Ryan said, setting down his coffee mug. The screen glowed with sensor data. 3 large objects appeared, each bigger than their ship. They weren't asteroids or comets. These things were moving in formation, with purpose. Those are ships, said Lieutenant Jake Morrison from Tactical. Big ones. The 3 strange vessels had dark hulls covered in spikes and armor plating. They dwarfed the sleek human exploration ship. Warning lights started flashing red on the bridge. Incoming transmission, reported the communications officer. They're hailing us. Put it on screen, Ryan ordered. The view screen flickered and showed a face that could have come from nightmares. Tusks jutted from a wide mouth. Multiple eyes blinked in different patterns. The creature's skin looked like gray leather. Attention. Small vessel. The voice boomed through the speakers. You have entered Krell Mercenary Guild space. Leave now or be destroyed. Ryan stepped forward. This is Captain O'Connor of the United Earthship Discovery. We mean no harm. We're just exploring. The alien's multiple eyes narrowed. Humans? It spat the word like a curse. Your species hasn't been cataloged. Turn back immediately. We can't turn back, Ryan replied calmly. This is uncharted space. It doesn't belong to anyone. The 3 alien ships moved closer. Their weapons hummed with building energy. Captain, Jake warned. They're powering up their guns. All hands. Battle stations, Ryan commanded. Alarms blared throughout the ship. Lisa, what can you tell me about those ships? Lisa's fingers flew across her console. They're armed to the teeth. Advanced shields, heavy weapons were seriously outgunned. The Krell commander leaned forward on the screen. Last warning, humans. Leave or die. Ryan looked at his crew. Young faces, but determined. They hadn't signed up to back down from the first challenge they met. Prepare evasive maneuvers, Ryan ordered. Engineering. Ready all engines for maximum burn. Tactical. Target their weapon systems. The Krell ships opened fire. Green energy beams cut through space where the Discovery had been a second ago. The human ship dove beneath the attack engine screaming. Return fire, Ryan shouted. The Discovery's smaller weapons spat back. Red energy bolts struck the lead mercenary ship's shields, making them flare bright blue. Shields holding at 60%, Jake reported as the ship shook from another near miss. Lisa suddenly jumped from her station. Captain, there's an asteroid field nearby, dense one. If we can reach it, plot a course, Ryan commanded. Full speed ahead. The Discovery banked, hard engines pushing to their limits. The 3 Krell ships followed, their larger frames making them slower to turn. They're too fast, Jake warned. Impact in 30 seconds. Space rocks, some the size of buildings, others small as pebbles, filled their view. The Krell ship slowed down, not wanting to risk collision. But Ryan had other ideas. Take us in. Use the rocks for cover. The crew held their breath as the Discovery plunged into the asteroid field. Rocks scraped against their shields. Warning systems screamed. The ship twisted and turned between the floating mountains. They're not following, Jake said, checking sensors. They're staying outside the field. The Krell commander reappeared on screen, anger clear on his alien face. Foolish humans. You'll be crushed by those rocks. But the Discovery kept moving, deeper into the field. The crew worked together like a dance. Lisa calculated safe paths. Jake adjusted shields to deflect smaller impacts. The navigator threaded needles between massive asteroids. Their targeting systems can't track us in here, Jake reported. Too much interference. Ryan smiled grimly. Then let's make them work for it. The Discovery used the asteroids like stepping stones, jumping from one shadow to another. When the mercenaries tried to follow, they scraped their hulls and retreated. Their bigger ships couldn't match the human agility. After 30 tense minutes, the Discovery emerged on the far side of the field. The 3 Krell ships were gone. "Did we lose them?" Lisa asked. "For now," Ryan replied. "But they'll be back. And they'll be angry." The crew gathered on the bridge. They had survived their first real space battle, but they knew this was just the beginning. "Send a message to Earth Command," Ryan ordered. "Tell them we've made contact with hostile aliens who call themselves the Krell Mercenary Guild, and tell them we just pissed them off." As the message signal raced toward home, the Discovery continued into the unknown. Behind them, in the depths of space, the Krell commander stared at the spot where the human ship had disappeared. "Small ship, strange tactics," he muttered to his second-in-command. "They flee into danger instead of away from it. Add them to our database. Mark them as unusual." His crew had never seen their commander confused before. The humans had done something no other species had tried, hiding in an asteroid field instead of running to open space. "Shall we pursue?" asked the second-in-command. The commander's tusks ground together in thought. "No. Let the guild know we have a new player in our space. These humans, they don't follow standard combat procedures. We need to study them." As both ships disappeared into different parts of the galaxy, neither crew knew they had started something bigger than themselves. The word would spread through the mercenary networks. A new species had arrived, and they fought in ways no one had seen before. Back on the Discovery, Ryan stared at the stars again. His coffee was cold now, but he didn't notice. Somewhere out there, the Krell Mercenary Guild was regrouping, and somewhere else, other mercenary groups would hear about the humans who had escaped their first encounter. The galaxy was about to learn that humans didn't like being told what to do, and the mercenaries who made their living by intimidating. Others were about to learn that some prey fought back in ways that made even predators think twice. The stars looked the same, but everything had changed. First contact had been made, and it had ended not with surrender, but with a small human ship disappearing into an asteroid field, leaving behind confused and angry mercenaries. The message traveled through space toward Earth. In the cold void, between stars, data packets carried news that would change everything. Humanity wasn't alone, and their neighbors weren't friendly. But then again, humans had never been known for backing down from a fight, no matter how big their opponents were. 3 weeks passed after the Discovery returned to Colony Horizon 4. The news spread fast. Humans had met aliens, and those aliens weren't friendly. Earth Command moved quickly. They sent more ships to the colony, building a defense fleet around the small settlement. Admiral Kate Sullivan arrived on the massive carrier Phoenix. She was 50 years old with sharp eyes that missed nothing. Her crew called her Iron Kate behind her back, though never when she could hear. "Captain O'Connor," she said as Ryan boarded her ship. "You started something interesting out there." "We just ran into them, Admiral," Ryan replied. "They started it." Kate smiled, but her eyes stayed serious. "The Krell sent a message through neutral traders. They say we violated their territory. We were exploring open space," Ryan argued. "To them, might makes right. They claim what they can hold." Kate led him to the war room. "But something's changed. Our intelligence picked up chatter. The Krell are talking about us." The war room held maps of the local star systems. Red markers showed Krell-controlled space. Blue markers showed human colonies. A thin line separated them. "What kind of chatter?" Ryan asked. "They're confused. They keep talking about your escape tactics. Using an asteroid field for cover isn't in their combat manual." Kate touched the display. "Other mercenary groups are listening. They're curious about these new humans." Lieutenant Jake Morrison entered the room. He carried a data pad with fleet reports. "Admiral, the defense grid is ready. We've got 15 ships now, all armed with our new weapon systems." Kate nodded. "Good, because company's coming." She pulled up a new display. 3 massive ships appeared on the screen, each 5 times bigger than the Discovery. "The Predator Corps," Jake read from his pad, "says here they're the most feared mercenaries in the galaxy, never lost a contract. They took a job with the Krell, Kate explained. To teach us a lesson. Their commander is named Vexakar. He's won battles against 10 different species. Ryan studied the ships. They're big, slow too. Don't underestimate them, Kate warned. They have plasma cannons that can melt our shields, and their armor is thick. For 3 days the human fleet prepared. Weapons were checked. Pilots practiced new maneuvers. Lieutenant Chris Bennett, the weapons specialist, worked on new tactics. We can't win a straight fight, Chris reported to the command staff. Their ships have twice our firepower. Then we don't fight straight, Kate replied. We fight human. On the 4th day, the Predator Corps arrived. Their ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the system. They didn't hide. They wanted everyone to know they were coming. Attention, Colony Horizon 4, came the deep voice of Vexakar. We are the Predator Corps. Surrender now and pay tribute to the Krell Mercenary Guild. Resist, and we will crush you. Kate stood on the bridge of the Phoenix. Around her, 15 human ships waited. This is Admiral Sullivan of the United Earth Defense Fleet. You have entered human space. Leave now. Vexakar laughed. The sound rumbled through the speakers like thunder. Such arrogance from a primitive species. We have destroyed armies. Your small fleet cannot stop us. We'll see about that, Kate replied. She switched to the fleet channel. All ships execute Plan Delta. The human ships scattered in different directions. This wasn't what the Predator Corps expected. Most species formed battle lines and traded shots until someone's shields failed. They run in all directions, Vexakar noticed. Cowards. But the humans weren't running. They were setting up. Each ship took position around the mining asteroids that floated near the colony. They waited. Target the biggest ship, Vexakar ordered. Show them our power. The lead Predator ship charged weapons. Green energy built up in its massive cannon. It fired. The shot hit empty space where a human ship had been. The vessel had moved at the last second, slipping behind an asteroid. The powerful blast hit the rock instead, blowing it to pieces. Miss, reported the targeting officer. Impossible, Vexakar growled. Fire again. The Predator ships moved forward, firing continuously. But the human ships danced between the asteroids. They used the rocks like shields, popping out to fire quick shots before disappearing again. They're using mining explosives, Chris reported from his fighter. Attaching them to asteroids and pushing them toward the enemy. 3 asteroid chunks, each carrying powerful mining charges, drifted toward the Predator ships. The Mercenaries were so focused on hitting the elusive human vessels that they didn't notice until too late. The explosions rocked the lead Predator ship. Its shields flared bright blue, then failed in sections. Damage report, Vexakar roared. Shield generators, offline. Hull breaches on decks 5 through 7. How? Vexakar demanded. They turned mining tools into weapons? The human ships pressed their advantage. Smaller, more agile fighters dove at the damaged ship. They targeted the weapon systems, careful shots that disabled but didn't destroy. Their aim is too good, noticed the second in command. They're not trying to kill us, they're taking apart our weapons. Another wave of explosive asteroids hit a second Predator ship. The massive vessel's engines sputtered and died. Without power, it drifted helplessly. Commander, reported the tactical officer. We've lost 60% of our firepower. Our ships are too big to avoid their tactics. Vexakar's multiple eyes narrowed. For the first time in his career, he faced an enemy that refused to fight by the rules. These humans didn't line up to trade shots. They didn't boost when attacked. They turned the battlefield itself into a weapon. Fall back, he ordered through clenched teeth. Regroup at the edge of the system. The 3 Predator ships limped away from the asteroid field. The human fleet didn't pursue. They knew when to press an attack and when to let an enemy retreat. On the Phoenix, Kate watched them go. Stand down from battle stations. Send damage reports. Minimal damage to our ships, Ryan reported. The Norfolk lost shields but no casualties. We did it. We survived, Kate corrected. They'll come back. They don't like losing face. That night, the colony celebrated. Music played in the central square, but military ships kept their guard up. Out in space, they tracked the Predator, corpse as they regrouped. In his damaged command room, Vexcar reviewed battle recordings. He watched again and again as human ships slipped through his weapons fire. He saw how they turned industrial equipment into military assets. "Send a message to other mercenary guilds," he ordered. "Warn them about these humans. They don't fight. Like any species we've encountered. They're innovative." His second-in-command looked confused. "Since when did they warn competitors, sir?" "Just send it," Vexcar growled. "Any guild that takes a contract against these humans should know what they're facing. Traditional tactics don't work. They turn weakness into strength." The message traveled through mercenary networks. Mercenaries traded information for profit, but some information was too important to hide from competitors. The Predator Corps, who had never warned about any opponent before, now spread the word about humans. In bars and meeting rooms across the galaxy, mercenaries heard the tale. How humans had faced the mighty Predator Corps with smaller ships and mining equipment. How they had danced through asteroid fields like they were born there. How they had won without destroying a single enemy ship, showing mercy even in victory. The word spread. Humans were dangerous. Not because of their weapons, but because of their tactics, because they refused to fight the way everyone else fought, and so the legend began to grow. Different from fear alone, it mixed respect with confusion. Humans were becoming known as the species that turned fighting into art. The ones who made professional warriors question their own methods. Back at Colony Horizon 4, Kate Sullivan prepared for the next challenge. She knew the Predator Corps would return. But now other mercenary groups might hear about the battle. Some might come to test themselves against these strange new fighters. In the war room, she studied star maps. "Let them come," she said quietly. "We'll show them how humans fight." 6 mercenary guilds heard about the Predator Corps defeat. They met in secret at Stellar Ridge Space Station, a massive structure floating between stars. Chrome towers twisted into shapes that looked impossible. Ships from a dozen species docked at its ports. Inside a dark meeting room, the guild leaders gathered. They shared information that would cost fortunes elsewhere, but today, they gave it freely. "The humans beat our ships," Vexcar admitted, his voice rough with shame. "They fight like nothing we've seen." A Krell representative asked, "How many ships did they have?" 15 small vessels against our 3 warships. We should have won easily." Vexcar's tusks clicked together. "They used mining explosives, moved. Like dancers through asteroids. Our weapons couldn't track them," the other leaders whispered among themselves. The Bloodfire clan leader spoke up. "We'll show you how it's done. My warriors train for close combat. We board ships and take them from inside." "Try it," Vexcar warned. "But watch your back. These humans are strange." 2 weeks later, the Bloodfire clan arrived at Colony Horizon 4. Their ships were smaller than the Predator vessels, built for speed and boarding actions. Special pods could attach to enemy hulls and cut through metal. "Human colony," the Bloodfire commander announced. "Prepare to be claimed. Your ships will be ours." Admiral Kate Sullivan didn't waste time talking. Battle stations. "Private Walsh, get your boarding team ready." Private Sam Walsh led the Marine boarding team. He was 22 years old but had trained for this since joining the service. His team waited in their assault ship ready for close combat. The Bloodfire ships attacked fast. Instead of trading shots like the Predator Corps had, they rushed straight at the human ships. Boarding pods shot out like bullets. "Incoming boarders!" Alarms blared across the Phoenix. The first boarding pod hit the destroyer Norfolk. Metal screamed as cutting lasers sliced through the hull. Bloodfire warriors poured through the breach. They expected to find scared crew members unprepared for knife fight. What they found shocked them. The human Marines had prepared traps. Sections of the ship that looked damaged were actually bait. When Bloodfire warriors entered, hidden crew members closed blast doors behind them. Suddenly, the aliens were trapped in spaces too small for their large weapons. "Close quarters only," Sam radioed to his team. "Stun guns and riot shields." The Marines moved like they had been born for ship combat. They used narrow corridors to their advantage. They threw flash grenades that confused the aliens' multiple eyes. They worked in pairs, covering each other through small spaces. "What is this?" a Bloodfire warrior shouted as a Marine slid under his gun and shocked him unconscious. "They aren't supposed to fight like us." On the Phoenix, Kate watched the battle through security cameras. "They expected us to fight like space crews. They forgot we have ground combat troops." The Bloodfire warriors kept trying to board ships. Each time, they met prepared Marines. The humans had studied the boarding tactics from old battles. They knew how to fight in tight spaces. "Status report," Kate demanded. "We've captured 30 Bloodfire warriors," Jake reported. 2 of their ships are damaged. They're trying to withdraw. But Kate had other plans. "Walsh, secure the prisoners. Launch our boarding teams." Sam grinned behind his helmet. "Copy that. Admiral, time to return the favor." Human boarding pods launched at the retreating Bloodfire ships. The aliens couldn't believe it. No one counterboarded them. It wasn't done. Human Marines rushed through breached airlocks. They moved faster than the taller aliens. They knew how to clear rooms. They used smoke to blind enemies. They threw stun grenades through doorways before entering. "They're everywhere," the Bloodfire commander panicked. "How do they move so fast in our own ship?" Sam's team reached the enemy bridge in minutes. They found the command staff trying to lock down systems. "Surrender now," Sam shouted, weapons raised. "You can't win this fight." The Bloodfire commander looked at the humans. These were supposed to be new to space combat. Yet they fought better on ships than his clan, who had trained for generations. "We yield," he admitted. "You may board our ships better than us. How?" "Practice," Sam replied simply. "Human ships have Marines for close combat. We train every day." The battle ended with 3 Bloodfire ships captured and their crew as prisoners. Kate stood on the bridge, reviewing reports. "Once again, minimal casualties," she said. "We need to keep this up." In the station's prison level, captured Bloodfire warriors compared notes. They couldn't understand how their perfect boarding tactics had failed so badly. They had plans inside their plans. One warrior said, "Traps within traps," like they knew exactly what we would do. The news spread faster this time. 2 mercenary groups had failed against humans. The story grew in the telling. Some said humans could read minds in battle. Others claimed they had secret technology. The truth was simpler, but more impressive. Humans studied their enemies and adapted faster than anyone expected. On a criminal station called Freeport, thieves and assassins gathered. They listened to tales of the human battles. The Blue Star Gang decided they would succeed where warriors had failed. "We don't fight fair," their leader said. "We use tricks, bombs, hostages. Humans won't be ready for that." They arrived at Colony. Horizon 4 in disguised merchant ships. Instead of attacking directly, they sent a message. "Human colony. We have taken Krell prisoners from the first attack. Meet our demands or we execute them." Kate frowned at the message. "These Krell tried to destroy us. But we don't let anyone execute prisoners." She called in Dr. Mark Thompson, their military strategy expert. "What do you think?" "It's a trap," Mark said. "But they don't know humans very well. They think we'll charge in to save enemies." "So what do we do?" Kate asked. "We be smarter than them," Mark smiled. "Get me 6 volunteers. We're going to do something these criminals won't expect." 6 human volunteers, including Kate herself, boarded small shuttles. They flew toward the Blue Star ships. True to form, the criminals prepared ambushes. They had bombs ready. Fighters waited in hiding. But the human shuttles didn't attack. Instead, they docked peacefully. Kate and her team walked aboard the criminal ships with their hands raised. "We surrender," Kate announced to the confused criminals. "You win. Take us as prisoners instead." The Blue Star leader was shocked. "You what?" "Take us. Let the Krell prisoners go. If you kill them, you get the other mercenary guilds angry at you. Humans are better hostages. Earth will pay more." The criminals agreed. They couldn't believe humans would surrender so easily. They locked up Kate and her team. They even moved the Krell prisoners back to the colony. That's when the trap sprang. The 6 prisoners had smuggled micro-explosives in. Their clothes. Small enough to avoid detection, strong enough to blow doors off hinges. At exactly midnight they struck. Explosions echoed through the criminal ships. In the darkness, human Marines who had been hiding in small shuttles struck. While criminals rushed to contain the escaped prisoners, Marines took control of ship systems. Checkmate, Kate radioed to the confused Blue Star leader. You wanted to use tricks? We invented tricks. Criminal ships powered down one by one. Without shields or weapons, they couldn't fight. Human crews took control of each vessel. The captured criminals couldn't stop talking. They surrendered to ambush us. Who does that? My grandmother would, Kate replied. It's called a Trojan horse. We used it thousands of years ago. The third battle ended like the others. Human victory, captured enemy ships, and word spreading faster through the galaxy. Mercenaries stopped taking contracts against humans, not out of fear alone, out of respect for an enemy that fought with intelligence. Humans surprised them at every turn. They used tricks older than space travel. They showed mercy, but only after winning decisively. At Stellar Ridge Station, mercenary guilds held another meeting. This time, Vexcar spoke differently. We must face facts. Humans cannot be beaten by standard contracts. They adapt too fast. They use tactics we never learned, and they fight with honor at the same time. The room fell silent. The greatest mercenaries in the galaxy had found an opponent they couldn't defeat. For the first time in centuries, they considered something new. Maybe they had been wrong about these newcomers. Maybe humans weren't prey at all. Maybe they were something more dangerous. Fighters who refused to play by anyone's rules but their own. Colonel Alex Foster sat in the dark intelligence room on Luna Station, Earth's moon base. Screens showed data streams from across the galaxy. For weeks, he had been tracking mercenary communications. Something big was happening. Lieutenant Mitchell, he called to his best pilot. Come look at this. Sarah Mitchell approached the main console. What's wrong, sir? The mercenaries are starting to divide. Some are backing away from human contracts. But others? Alex pointed to encrypted messages. They see opportunity. Bounties on our commanders. Sarah studied the patterns. They're targeting our leaders. That's not normal for them. No, it isn't. Alex pulled up a star map. They're desperate. Every guild that fought us lost face. Now they want to end this by taking out our decision-makers. The next day, Earth Command held an emergency meeting. Admiral Kate Sullivan joined by secure video link from Colony Horizon 4. They want our heads, Kate said bluntly. The bounties are huge, big enough to tempt even cautious guilds. We can't let them dictate the war, Admiral Sullivan replied from Earth. We need to go on offense. Kate smiled. I have an idea. Give me Lieutenant Carter and his special operations team. Noah Carter led the most secretive unit in the human fleet. His team moved like ghosts, gathering information deep in enemy territory. They spoke alien languages. They understood mercenary culture. Now they had a new mission. Sir, Noah asked Kate, what exactly do you need us to do? Turn their bounty system against them. Find their communication hubs. Plant some false information. Let them think they know where we are. 2 weeks later, Noah's team returned. They brought data chips and audio recordings. It worked, Noah reported. We found 18 different mercenary spy networks. They all think you're meeting on the civilian station Waypoint 7 next month. They're planning to capture you alive. Kate grinned. Perfect. Let's give them what they expect. The plan required perfect timing. Human intelligence agents spread rumors that matched what the mercenaries already suspected. Kate would meet with other commanders at Waypoint 7. The location was leaked through back channels. Even the bodyguard schedules were carefully designed to look real, but have holes. Waypoint 7 was a peaceful trading station. Thousands of civilians from different species lived and worked there. Human authorities quietly began evacuating non-essential personnel. The Razor Guild and Shadow Pack mercenaries are both coming, Alex reported. They hate each other, but the bounty is too good to pass up. Good, Kate said. Now we wait. Waypoint 7 security cameras picked up unusual activity. Two separate mercenary teams arrived within hours of each other. The Razor Guild wore gray armor. The Shadow Pack preferred black stealth suits. They didn't know about each other. Kate arrived with a small security team. She walked openly through the station, letting herself be seen. Her guards looked professional, but not overwhelming. To watching bounty hunters, she seemed vulnerable. The station's central plaza had multiple levels. Shops and restaurants lined the walkways. Kate sat at an outdoor cafe drinking coffee. She checked her watch like she was waiting for someone. The Razor Guild spotted her first. They positioned snipers on upper levels. Their plan was simple: knock her out with stun weapons, grab her before anyone could respond. The Shadow Pack saw the Razor Guild moving. They panicked. Their rivals couldn't be allowed to claim the bounty first. They rushed to set up their own ambush. What neither group knew was that every civilian in sight was actually a human operative. The cafe workers were Marines. The shopkeepers were intelligence agents. Even the children playing nearby were holographic projections. "Eyes open, people," Alex whispered into his hidden microphone. "Let them make the first move." The Razor Guild leader raised his hand. His team aimed their weapons. But before they could fire, the Shadow Pack attacked them. Thinking the Razor Guild was working with humans, the Shadow Pack opened fire on their rivals. Energy weapons lit up the plaza. Aliens dove for cover. The Razor Guild fired back immediately. "They're fighting each other," Sarah observed from the command center. "Perfect," Kate said calmly, still sitting at the cafe. "Noah, execute Phase 2. Hidden human teams suddenly appeared. They didn't join the fight directly. Instead, they blocked exits and sealed blast doors. The mercenaries were trapped with each other. "What's happening?" the Razor Guild commander shouted as his team fought desperately. "Where are the human guards?" "You betrayed us," the Shadow Pack leader screamed. "You're working for them." The battle raged for 20 minutes. Both mercenary groups destroyed each other in their paranoia. When human security finally moved in, they found only unconscious or exhausted fighters. "Secure the prisoners," Kate ordered. "Get medical teams here. We don't want anyone dying." The aftermath was perfect. Two professional mercenary groups had eliminated each other without humans firing a single shot. News spread quickly through underworld channels. "The humans played us," wounded mercenaries admitted during interrogation. "They knew we'd fight each other for the bounty." The story grew, legendary. Mercenaries started sharing it in hushed tones. These humans didn't just fight. They made their enemies destroy themselves. They understood mercenary psychology better than mercenaries did. 3 months passed. More mercenary contracts against humans were canceled, not because of fear alone, because of respect. These humans were smarter than anyone had realized. At Stellar Ridge Station, an emergency mercenary council convened. Representatives from 70 guilds attended. Such a large gathering hadn't happened in centuries. Karath, the negotiator, spoke for the council. He was ancient, having seen 1,000 contracts. "We must face reality. Our traditional ways do not work against humans." The room buzzed with anger and confusion. Pride fought against wisdom. "They beat us with tricks," someone shouted. "Who among you doesn't use tricks?" Karath replied. "We assassinate. We set traps. We use hostages. Humans simply do it better." Vexkar stood up. The Predator Corps leader had grown thoughtful since his defeat. "I've studied their battles. They learn faster than we can adapt. Every tactic we use, they counter with something unexpected." "Then we refuse their contracts?" another guild leader asked. "More than that," Karath said. "We declare them exempt from standard mercenary agreements. Any guild that fights humans does so alone, without support from others." The decision shocked the mercenary world. For the first time, a species was marked as too dangerous for normal contracts. Not because they couldn't be beaten, because fighting them cost more than any reward was worth. On Earth, intelligence agents intercepted the Council's decision. "We won," Alex reported to Earth Command. "They're officially afraid of us." "Not afraid," the Supreme Commander corrected. Respect mixed with caution. That's better than fear alone. Kate received a private message from Vexcar himself. It was the first direct communication since their battle. You fight with honor, human Kate. Your species has earned something rare. In our galaxy, recognition as warriors worth avoiding. We will spread this truth. Any mercenary who ignores this wisdom does so without guild support. Kate deleted the message but remembered its words. Humans had become something unique. Not conquerors, not prey, but a force that mercenaries, the galaxy's predators, treated with careful respect. The war hadn't ended with destruction. It ended with understanding. Humans had proven they couldn't be beaten by standard tactics. So the mercenaries chose wisdom over pride. Word spread through the galaxy. New species joining galactic society heard the stories about humans who turned defense into art, who made professional fighters question their own methods, who earned respect by never fighting the way others expected. In dark corners of space stations, mercenaries told new recruits the warning, never take a contract against humans. They'll beat you, outsmart you, and then treat your wounds. There's no profit in fighting someone who thinks 10 steps ahead. The galaxy had learned. Some species couldn't be measured by normal standards, and humans were definitely not normal. 6 months after the Waypoint 7 incident, the galaxy had changed. Trade routes bustled with ships carrying goods between human and alien worlds, but some mercenaries still refused to accept the new reality. The Black Talon Company broke from the main mercenary council. Their leader, Drex the Unyielding, gathered 50 rogue ships at the edge of known space. We built our reputation on never backing down, Drex announced to his fleet. I don't care what the council says. Humans can bleed like any species. His second-in-command worried. Sir, every guild that fought them lost. Maybe we should... No. Drex slammed his fist down. We're the Black Talon Company. We've conquered planets. We've broken empires. These humans won lucky battles. Nothing more. The Black Talon launched the largest mercenary attack in decades. 50 warships headed toward Colony Horizon 4. They brought troop carriers full of soldiers. They carried heavy weapons that could crack planets. Admiral Kate Sullivan watched them approach. She stood on the bridge of the Phoenix with her command staff. Status report, she ordered. 50 ships incoming, Jake Morrison reported. They're broadcasting on all channels, demanding our surrender. Do they expect us to be scared? Lieutenant, Sarah Mitchell asked. They expect us to fight by their rules, Kate replied. Alert Earth Command. Begin preparations for Operation Unity. For days, human ships retreated as the Black Talon fleet advanced. Mercenaries cheered as human forces fell back toward their colonies. They thought humans were finally showing fear. What they didn't know was that every retreat brought them deeper into a web. Human engineers worked through the night. They placed devices in space, small machines that would change everything. Admiral, reported Noah Carter, the trap is set. They're exactly where we want them. Kate nodded. Begin final phase, and get me Ambassador Wright. Director Julia Wright arrived at the command center. As head of the diplomatic corps, she had been preparing for this day. The other mercenary guilds? Kate asked. Watching carefully, Julia replied. They say this isn't their fight, but they're listening to everything Drex broadcasts. This could turn them against us if we're too harsh. Or toward us if we handle it right, Kate said. Open broadcast channel, galaxy-wide. Across the stars, from Earth to the furthest colonies, people tuned in. Alien species stopped their work to watch. Mercenary guild leaders leaned forward in their control rooms. This is Admiral Kate Sullivan of the United Earth Defense Fleet. To Drex of the Black Talon Company. You have invaded human space against the wishes of the Mercenary Council. You endanger not just us, but the peace other guilds have accepted. Drex's angry face appeared on screens. Humans, you fooled too many with your tricks. Today you face real warriors. Surrender or die. Kate remained calm. Warriors fight with honor. You fight without the support of your own people. The Council warned you, Drex. They told you we cannot be beaten by force alone. Words, Drex spat. We'll see about your tricks. When my ships rain death on your colonies, Very well, Kate said softly. Captain Carter, activate the field. Space itself seemed to shimmer. The little devices humans had planted began working. They created a network of spatial distortions around the mercenary fleet. What is this? Drex demanded as his ship started reporting problems. FTL inhibitors, Jake explained to the command staff. Combined with gravity scramblers, they can't escape to faster-than-light travel, and their navigation systems are confused. The Black Talon ships found themselves trapped. Their weapons fired but missed targets that weren't where they thought. Their ships moved sluggishly through twisted space. Then the human fleet struck, but not with weapons. Target their communications, Kate ordered. No weapons fire. I want them alive. Human ships darted through the confused mercenary fleet. They used precise energy beams to disable communication systems. Ship after ship went silent, unable to coordinate with their allies. Our communications are dead, mercenary captains reported. We can't talk to each other. The Black Talon Company, proud of their coordination, fell apart. Without communication, they couldn't work together. Ships bumped into each other. Some tried to retreat and crashed into their own allies. Throughout the galaxy, mercenaries watched in amazement. The humans hadn't destroyed a single enemy ship. They had simply taken away their ability to fight as a group. Enough, Drex finally shouted. His own ship drifted helplessly. What do you want? Surrender, Kate replied simply. Lay down your weapons. Submit to justice. The Council will decide your fate. And if I refuse? Then you'll drift here forever. Your ships won't work. Your crews will question why you brought them to this fate. Kate paused. Choose, Drex. Live to fight honorably another day. Or die. Here, forgotten by your own people. The silence stretched across space. Inside his ship, Drex looked at his crew. They had followed him loyally, but he saw doubt in their eyes now. We surrender, he said finally, the words tasting like ash. The galaxy watched as human ships guided the defeated fleet to Colony Horizon 4. Prisoners were treated fairly. Wounded mercenaries received medical care. The Black Talon Company was intact but humbled. The Mercenary Council observed everything. They had expected either human victory through destruction or their own vindication if Drex succeeded. What they saw was something new. They defeated their enemy without a single death, Karath noted to the Council. Even when outnumbered. Even when fighting those who betrayed the peace. A week later, formal diplomatic channels opened. Julia Wright led human representatives to meet with the Mercenary Council. Security was tight but friendly. The meeting happened on neutral space. We seek lasting peace, Julia announced. Humans have no desire to be enemies of the mercenary guilds. Karath responded, Your actions have proven your words. You fight only when attacked. You show mercy even to those who show none. The Council recognizes humans as partners in peace. The agreement was simple. Mercenaries would treat human space as sovereign territory. Humans would respect mercenary codes when in their space. Trade and communication would flow freely. Any conflicts would be handled diplomatically first. In military academies throughout the galaxy, new lessons were taught. Students learned about human tactics, not just the tricks and strategies, but the underlying principles. Humans win through adaptation, instructors told new generations. They study their enemies. They use intelligence as a weapon. They show honor in victory. On Earth at the Planetary Defense Academy, retired Admiral Kate Sullivan gave lectures to eager cadets. We never wanted war, she explained. But when challenged, we showed that determination matters more than size. Intelligence matters more than numbers. And honor matters most of all. One cadet raised her hand. Did we really scare them, Admiral? Kate smiled. No, cadet. Fear fades. We earned their respect. That lasts forever. In the depths of space, veteran mercenaries still told stories around campfires on frontier worlds. They spoke of the humans, who changed everything, who proved that newcomers could teach old warriors new lessons, who showed that sometimes the greatest strength was knowing when not to fight, But they also warned young pilots and soldiers, never underestimate them, never attack unprovoked. And remember, humans have long memories. Cross them once, and they'll prepare for you twice. They don't just fight battles, they end wars. Ralvin, a former Krell mercenary who now served aboard human ships, often joined these conversations. I fought them. I surrendered to them. Then I learned from them. The galaxy is better with humans in it. They show us there are ways to be strong beyond just fighting. Years passed. The legend grew. New species joining the galactic community heard the tales first thing. Humans, the species that earned respect through wit and will, the ones who turned the most feared mercenaries in the galaxy into careful allies. And in quiet moments, in bars and stations across countless worlds, when young warriors boasted about their strength, older mercenaries would shake their heads and say, "Kid, there's strong. And then there's human strong. Strength isn't about how hard you hit. It's about how smart you fight. And no one fights smarter than the humans." The galaxy had a new story, not of conquest or empire, but of a species that entered the stars and changed the rules, not through force alone, but through the kind of thinking that turned enemies into respectful peers. And so the legend of human cleverness spread further than any weapon could reach. From the core worlds to the frontier systems, everyone knew. Humans didn't just fight. They revolutionized fighting itself. They proved that the mind was the ultimate weapon, and honor was the greatest shield. In the end, the galaxy's strongest mercenaries didn't refuse to fight humans because they couldn't win. They refused because they had learned to see humans as something more valuable than just opponents. They saw them as partners in a galaxy that needed smart warriors more than it needed conquerors. The stars still shone bright, and among them moved a species that had earned its place not through fear but through respect, not by ending wars with destruction, but by ending them with understanding. Humans had arrived, and the galaxy was better for it.